back to the second part of our exploration of the rich tapestry of the Netherlands. Today, we'll explore the heritage of herring, unravel the fascinating history of tulip mania, and visit the Van Gogh House Drenthe to learn more about the life of another Dutch master, Van Gogh. We will navigate Amsterdam by bike and canal, visit a one-of-a-kind floating Dutch cat rescue, step into the past at a traditional Dutch village, and delve into the unforgettable story of Anne Frank and her family. So here's the final installment of A Twice as Good Taste of Amsterdam. The Van Gogh House Drenthe is the only publicly accessible building in the Netherlands where the legendary artist Vincent van Gogh, or how it's pronounced in English, Vincent van Gogh, lived and worked. Known for his vibrant and emotional paintings, Van Gogh's time in Drenthe was crucial to his development as an artist. Jan Maastruik will walk us back in time here at the Van Gogh House Drenthe in the footsteps of one of the most influential painters in history.
He was always looking for the landscape. And a fellow painter said, this part of the Netherlands has a beautiful landscape. It's rough, it's tough, it's hard labor on work days, and that's where you will feel at home. And that's where he discovered his way of brushing, using the brushes, especially using the darker colors. We're actually in the living room of the familie Scholte back in 1883. Vincent often sat with the family, talked about what he had been doing all day, even sketching and so forth. Everything we tell here, everything we show here comes from 23 letters. You see them on the ceiling here. Vincent wrote from here to his brother Theo. Here's another table. And this is all about the peat. Peat is something, if you wait a little bit longer to leave it in the earth, it will be coal. Vincent came over here, he admired the way the people lived and worked in the field. This table, with the trees, is all about his inspirations. All the painters that inspired him, maybe Van Gogh inspired them, I don't know. Welcome up on the first floor in Vincent's bedroom. Actually, it looked the same as it did in 1883.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. Vincent wrote in his letter to Theo, I now have a rather big room with even an oven and a small balcony. And that's why he made this watercolor you see over there. This is not the original.
So this watercolor was a replica of what was right outside his window.
Yes, it was, because the bridge you see now over there, which is a new one, was exactly in the same place. You see some of the paintings he made over here. Cabins in the field, turf, peat boat, potato eaters later in Brabant. After a few years he went to France. And then the change to his brighter colors he made in...
more colorful.
Yes, like the Starry Night. So you see the development of Vincent's painting of 10, 15 years.
Canals of Amsterdam, often referred to as the Venice of the North, are an iconic symbol of the city's rich history and unique urban landscape. Amsterdam has 165 canals, plus over 120 kilometers worth of water. And it has 1,500 bridges. What a cool place to be! And what a cool way to get around! Originally constructed in the 17th century for transportation, defense, and water management, Amsterdam's canals reshaped the city's landscape. These canals, like arteries, were meticulously designed to weave through the city. To manage the water, locks and sluices were installed, acting as guardians of Amsterdam's safety. Embankments rose to meet the waters, providing pathways for the people of Amsterdam. Bridges span the canals, connecting communities and enhancing mobility throughout the city. Amsterdam's canals now serve as a picturesque backdrop for leisurely boat rides, waterfront cafes, and scenic strolls along tree-lined quays. Lined with elegant merchant houses, quaint bridges, and vibrant houseboats, the canals exude a timeless charm. Among these charming sights is De Pusheboot, or the cat boat, a unique floating sanctuary for stray and abandoned cats.
Come on in.
Oh, hi! So many cats! Hi! Can we pet them?
Yes, of course. The cats that you see out here are our resident cats. They either have behavioral issues or health issues, and so that's why they live permanently on the boat. The ones that you see behind me in the cages here are the ones that we have up for adoption.
This is so cool. It's like a cat heaven around here.
It is definitely a cat heaven. The residents that live here are spoiled for sure.
What is the process of adopting a cat from here like?
So what we tell people is we want them to go on our website. They look at the background of the cat and the story, and if they think it's a match, we basically interview them and we make sure that they're the perfect fit for that specific cat.
So given that cats are famously afraid of water, how do you handle that?
Cats sometimes aren't as scared of water as people think, but they're also not swimming in the canal. But they love actually looking out. So we have our catio, we call it, out there, so they can be inside and outside. And when they're out there, they love looking at the swans and the other birds that come up, and we feed them as well. And so for them, it's a fun sort of entertainment.
Yeah, I can totally see how they would love that with all the birds and stuff. It's such a great view.
Exactly, exactly. Who doesn't want this view?
This place definitely is the cat's meow. Aww. Served fresh from the North Sea, herring is a delicacy that showcases the simplicity of Dutch seafood cuisine and is deeply rooted in Dutch heritage. Typically enjoyed during herring season, raw herring is filleted, leaving the tail intact, and traditionally eaten by holding it by the tail and gently letting it slide into your mouth. This quintessential Amsterdam treat is not just a meal, but a cultural experience. Today, Schilo van Coevoorden, executive chef at the Conservatorium Hotel, will give us a primer on herring preparation before we head to Friends Herring Hendel, a famous fish stand in Amsterdam, to try local herring.
Today I have some salted herring. It's kind of fresh herring, but it's brined.
What's in the brine? Just salt?
The brine is salt and water.
So the Dutch have been fishing for hundreds of years. How did they keep it fresh back then?
That was indeed the problem, because before that people caught fish and had to eat it very quickly. So the only thing what is known is to dry fish. But if you dry fish, it becomes unedible. You need it to have a longer shelf life. When you catch the fish, before you brine it, you take out the insides. Because normally that's the first part that starts rotting. But somebody very clever thought like, okay, let's leave the pancreas.
Why is that?
Because it's an enzyme, and together with the salt, it matures the fish. The most important thing was extend.
It's a natural preservative.
It's a natural preservant, correct. So you can see that the fish is cleaned, but inside is still the pancreas.
You can see that.
So here I have kind of a clean herring, and there are little bones in there, but they will not bother you. It's not like you can choke on it because it's so thin.
They're so fine.
So here I have a beautiful red, fresh herring.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Because if it is not fresh, it becomes brown. And here you can see it's red. So then I have another bone, which is the middle bone.
So this bone we want to take out.
Yeah. In a restaurant or from a supplier or at home from a fish shop, this is how you will get it. Yeah.
Really?
It is cleaned, it's fresh, it's nicely red, and you leave the last part of the tail.
Can we try some herring?
Of course, we made for you two options. So we have the Amsterdam way in pieces.
Ah, so you're going to make it more handheld for sure.
And we eat it with onion and pickle. So this is the Amsterdam way.
Looks so good. Oh, it's such a cute little flag. I love the way you played it.
You have to eat it with the flag.
Sounds good.
In the rest of Holland, they eat it on the tail and just with onion.
Why don't we start with this one? It's amazing. You can really taste the freshness of the fish.
Yeah.
Should we try this type too?
So you dip it in the onion and you just eat it like this.
Oh, let's do it. Let's give it a try. This is a really fun way of eating it. I like this way better. Clogs, also known as wooden shoes or klompen in Dutch, have a long history in the Netherlands. Having been worn for centuries, this traditional Dutch footwear is deeply ingrained in the country's cultural heritage. There is no one better to delve into the process of clog making than expert clog maker Roel van Ways.
First we cut a tree down, fresh poplar tree. I will cut out of this block of wood a total shoe, and it goes much quicker than everybody can imagine. This is a copy machine. Like somebody make a key, I make a shoe. First we cut an outside. I use a very old system. And the reason why is it doesn't break. Then we cut an inside.
Basically hollowing it out.
Yeah. Then we still have two things on the shoe. That is a front and a back. So first you cut it, then you dry it. We take the band polish machine, we're gonna polish them. Now you see how simple it is.
So what are we painting here?
You are making a very beautiful flower.
Yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of this.
You've done it before, I can see.
I think we're all done. How does this look?
That looks very good. Yes. And now to try to get them on.
Ooh, yeah, I think these fit pretty nicely.
And now we're gonna make your name on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Personalized. So you're just burning it into the wood.
Ah, perfect.
These are so beautiful.
Yes, and that looks very nice.
Tulips are a quintessential symbol of the Netherlands, renowned for their vibrant colors and historical significance. They are typically in season from mid-March to mid-May, with April being the peak blooming period. During this time, fields in regions like Canals and the Noorderspolder burst into a spectacular array of colors, attracting tourists from around the world. The Dutch have a long-standing tradition of cultivating tulips, and the flowers play a significant role in the country's horticulture and cultural heritage. In the 17th century, Amsterdam experienced tulip mania, a period where tulips became extraordinarily valuable and were traded at astonishing prices. Introduced to Europe from the Ottoman Empire, tulips quickly became a status symbol in the Netherlands. By the 1630s, the frenzy had reached its peak, with some tulip bulbs costing as much as a house. The speculative bubble burst in 1637, leading to a dramatic collapse in prices. Despite the crash, tulips remain an iconic symbol of Dutch culture and history. Bicycles are not merely a mode of transportation in Amsterdam. They are a cornerstone of the city's identity and lifestyle. Bikes are not just a means of getting around. They are a cultural icon, symbolizing Amsterdam's laid-back charm and eco-conscious mindset. With a well-developed infrastructure of bike lanes and bike-friendly policies, Amsterdam has embraced cycling as a fundamental part of urban mobility. Whether it's commuting to work, exploring the city's picturesque streets, or leisurely pedaling along the scenic canals, bicycles play a central role in shaping the vibrant and dynamic fabric of Amsterdam's urban landscape. The history of the bicycle dates back to the early 19th century, when inventors began experimenting with various designs for human-powered vehicles. The first recognizable bicycle, known as the Draisine or Laufmaschine, was invented by German inventor Carl Drais in 1817. Throughout the 19th century, the design of the bicycle evolved rapidly, including the iconic penny farthing with its large front wheel and smaller rear wheel. Despite its impracticality, the penny farthing became a symbol of status and innovation. In the late 19th century, the safety bicycle revolutionized cycling with its innovative design, featuring two wheels of equal size, a chain drive mechanism, and pneumatic tires. This design made cycling safer, more accessible, and more comfortable for riders of all ages. The Utrecht bike lot stands as a testament to the city's commitment to biking. As one of the largest bicycle parking facilities in the world, it offers a striking example of efficient and organized bike storage. With space for thousands of bicycles, the bike parking lot in Utrecht serves as a vital hub for cyclists commuting to and from the city center. Urban planning expert Ronald Tams is here to show us around Utrecht. So how many bikes did you estimate are in this parking lot?
Well, there's place for like 12,500 Today is not that busy, so I would assume somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 bikes are stored here nowadays.
That's a lot of bikes.
Actually, this is the biggest in the world facility for bike parking, but the whole area has even more. Over 30,000. Over 30,000
Biggest in the
bikes.
world. That's amazing.
Are you interested to make a small tour by bike around?
Absolutely. Let's do it. That sounds super
Okay,
fun.
let's go.
Pickles are made through a process called pickling, which involves immersing cucumbers in a brine solution or vinegar mixture, along with various herbs, spices, and other flavorings. There's no better place to explore the preparation of pickles than at Kesbeke, a family-owned Dutch company that has been making their own branded pickles and related sauces since 1948. So what kinds of pickling are there?
Oh, there are two kinds of pickling. In the States, they do a lot of fermentation. So that's, you have a raw gherkin, put them on salt water, and with the lactobacillus bacteria in the sunlight, it starts creating a sour. It's like a good way of rotting. Another way is pasteurization. That is putting a fresh gherkin in vinegar and then heat it up in a jar. In the Netherlands, we do a lot of pasteurization, and in the States, they do a lot of fermentation.
Do you make different flavors of pickles?
We make, I think, around 50 to 100 different flavors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from spicy to sour or sweet or even salty pickles or dill pickles, all different kinds of flavors.
What about perishability? How long do they last once they're jarred?
When you pasteurize the jar, it can last up to 3 years. And when you do the fermentation, it will be around a year. Now is the most exciting part. I want to let you taste some of our pickles. I think we start with more like a standard pickle.
Ooh, is that fermented or pasteurized?
This is pasteurized, but there is some dill inside. I hope you like it. I think it's different than in the States.
It's a lot sweeter, for sure. It actually surprises me.
Well, now we have something special. It's called the yellow cucumber.
Ooh, that sounds fancy. So how do you package this? You typically cut it up?
Oh, they are like this size, really big. So what we do is we cut them in really big slices and put them in a jar, or put them fresh in buckets.
Let's give this one a try. That's even sweeter. Wow. That's delicious. Yeah, it's a really nice punch.
It's like candy. I have for you the fermented pickles. We make them, but only in really, really small quantities. But in the States, this is huge. We put more salt on it.
Let's try
You
it.
can try it.
Wow, that's really interesting. Definitely a lot less sweet. I think I prefer the sweet, but it's still a really nice flavor, maybe with something more savory.
If you ever get in a pickle, you know where to come by.
We do, for sure. I think I need another bite of this one.
Enjoy.
The Anne Frank House is a poignant memorial and museum dedicated to the life and legacy of Anne Frank, who hid from Nazi persecution during World War II. Housed within the actual building where Anne and her family lived in hiding for over 2 years, the museum offers a glimpse into their harrowing experience. Expert Alexander Fossel can share more about the Frank family and the cramped living quarters where Anne penned her famous diary.
We're here at the Anne Frank house in the small room between the front house and the annex. The secret annex, as the word says it's the hiding place. And we're standing next to the actual bookcase that they built themselves to hide the entrance. Behind the bookcase, there's a door that gives passage to the upper 3 floors of the annex, and that is where the Frank family and 4 other people were in hiding, and I suggest that we have a look. Imagine how cramped this space would have been for so many people at the same time.
And they would have had to be really quiet as well.
Absolutely. They couldn't walk around or talk to each other, couldn't flush the toilet, and only in the evening hours and during the weekends they could move around freely.
Can you tell us about some of the personal artifacts that are left in this room?
Most of the things were taken by the Nazis, either to be thrown out or to be sold. And some things are left here, like this one here. This is a little map that was cut out from a newspaper by Otto Frank, and he would keep track where the Allied forces were. This is a map of the coast of Normandy in France. And they would listen to the radio and they would hear where they were. What you see next to the map here, you see the height chart. You can see where Otto Frank, with a pencil, drew lines on the wallpaper, and you can see how tall his daughters were. This is the room that Anne shared with the dentist, Fritz Pfeffer, and you can immediately see, if you look around the room, that this was a young girl's room because it's filled with photographs, cutouts from newspapers. Every week she would get this magazine from one of the helpers called Cinema and Theater, and she'd cut out photos of famous movie stars, something she also aspired to be.
So just like any teen girl.
Absolutely, yes. She had dreams like any young girl would have had, and she wanted to become famous, wanted to become a movie star, but also wanted to become a writer.
So how did her work get published eventually?
So she obviously could not finish her diary herself, but it was found by two of the helpers, Miep and Beb, and then later given to Otto Frank, Anne's father. He was the one who published the diary after the war. And that was in 1947, 2 years after the end of the war, and by now it is translated in over 70 languages. So this is the family room. This is the largest room of the annex, of the hiding place, and this is where all 8 of them would come together. So the Frank family, the Van Pels family, and Fritz Pfeffer. All of them were from Germany. All of them fled the country after Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, and all 8 of them were Jewish. Because Jewish people in Germany were not safe, they came to the Netherlands because they hoped they would be safe here. The Netherlands had been a neutral country during the First World War, and for Otto Frank there was this opportunity to start a business here. And even during their time in hiding, the business was continued by Otto's employees.
So were they able to cook up here?
Yes, we're standing right next to the kitchen, which is right here. And it doesn't look like much now, but they used to have a stove and they would cook meals. In the beginning, it was fairly easy to get some food for the people in hiding. The helpers provided them with that.
So how did they get found out in the end?
Unfortunately, we do not know. We do know that they were found on the 4th of August 1944. We have theories, but no evidence.
So only Anne's father survived?
Otto was the only one who was able to survive. They all were sent to concentration camps, separated from each other, and Otto Frank luckily was liberated in January of 1945 in Auschwitz in Poland. So we're here in Peter's room. Anne would make use of that as well because sometimes she would come visit him to do crosswords puzzles because that was something Peter really enjoyed doing. After a while, she got to know him and she fell in love with him.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
He also fell in love with her, actually, and they were a couple. Above Peter's room is the attic, and Anne would sometimes go up there to have some privacy. There's a window up there that was not blacked out, so she couldn't stand in front of the window, but she could see a bit of the sky. That was the only connection to the outside world she had.
It's so amazing to be standing here next to her actual diary. Can you tell us about the profound impact that Anne Frank has had on the world?
I think for most people, the diary that Anne wrote is the first time that they come in contact with the atrocities of the Holocaust and learn about what happened to Jewish people during that time. And it serves as a reminder that there is still a need to combat anti-Semitism, discrimination, and exclusion of many people. Many of the readers wrote to Otto Frank, asking questions about Anne's life. He answered all those letters personally. He was the one who opened this museum with the idea to make sure that her life, her story, his family's story is not forgotten about, but also to make sure that the people that come here learn something from history, because you have to know the past to be able to change the future. And that is something Otto dedicated his whole life to.
From exploring the iconic museums to savoring the flavors of Dutch cuisine, Amsterdam is a kaleidoscope of experiences. It's a city with vibrant culture, rich history, and picturesque canals. Whether admiring the Netherlands' stunning architecture, visiting the Anne Frank house, or celebrating a cat rescue on a houseboat, every cobblestone corner of this city and the larger country tells a story. Holland's windmill-dotted landscapes and the warm hospitality of its people are twice as good. Until we meet again, tot ziens, Amsterdam!
Twice as Good with Hadley and Delaney is brought to you by Mila. Immer besser, forever better. Mila. And by Cuties. Cute you can eat. Cuties.